everyone and welcome to a new weekly vlog. I am starting this very late as per usual, but it is currently Thursday now and I have been in work Monday, Wednesday and today, and every time I've thought to update you guys and pick up the camera to film a clip, I've kind of put it off because I've just not felt myself. I felt very tired and I just wasn't in the right mood to film anything. But I'm here now, I feel a bit better and I have quite a bit to update you guys on. So like I said, today is Thursday and I actually want to finish 2 books by tomorrow. One of them, it doesn't matter if I don't complete it by tomorrow, but the other one kind of does. So I'll just show you the books. We have Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb and The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is the book that I ideally need to finish by tomorrow night because if you don't know, I am reading these books as part of the Fellowship of the Read-Along hosted by Lucy and J.R.R. All of their information will be linked down below, as well as any information about the read-along. But if you did see my vlog, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did read the Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first part of Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings epic, and I absolutely loved it, so I will link that video up above. So if you want to know anything about the story, the book itself, these stunning editions of the books, and just my general thoughts about the book itself, then please go watch that video because I'm not going to repeat myself here. This is the second part to The Lord of the Rings and I am actually around halfway now, which is crazy to me because I did film a clip on Tuesday, I think, where I was reading this because it was very sunny outside and I thought I'd go sit outside and enjoy the sun on my day off, and I think I was at chapter 4 then, so I have actually read quite a bit this week. I'm almost up to book 4, which is part 2 of this book but part 4 of the whole Lord of the Rings book, if that makes sense. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything about this. If you want to know anything, the link to my last reading vlog will also be down below for you guys. But in this series we follow a hobbit named Frodo Baggins who comes into the possession of Sauron's One Ring of Power. Because of this, he sets in motion a lot of different things and therefore he needs to get to safety, and so he heads out to Rivendell, to the House of Elrond, where they will hold council to decide what they will have to do with the One Ring. Because this ring in the wrong hands could lead to the destruction of Middle-earth and everyone in it. So very intense, it's a very high stakes epic fantasy and it's also one of my favourite series of all time. I feel like I should have done a spoilery vlog for these books, but I do plan on rereading them at some point in the future, so I will possibly do that then. Just because right now I'm flying through it, I don't really want to put it down and update every time I have a thought, which is really bad, but I'm just very much in the swing of this and I'm just engrossed in the story completely. This is very different to the films in terms of the timeline, which I didn't expect. If you've seen the films, it ends with the battle at Helm's Deep and also another matter regarding Isengard, which I don't want to go into because I feel like that's a spoiler. But as I said in this, I'm about halfway through and all of that has already happened. So I'm very intrigued to see where the rest of this story goes. And I can see on the cover there is Shelob there and she does not appear until halfway through the 3rd film. So I'm very confused about the timeline, but I'm excited to see where it goes and how much content there is in this that isn't in the films. I need to finish this by tomorrow night if I want to join in with the live show discussion of this book. Lucy and J.R.R. will be hosting it. I think it's at 7 PM BST. I'm not too sure. It will have already happened by now, so I will leave it linked down below for you guys. Again, if you want to check it out, please do so. I really enjoyed their first live show. They brought up some very important and interesting topics. So if you do love The Lord of the Rings, then I would highly recommend you watch that. And then as you saw, the next book that I want to read is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, which shouldn't be too much of a challenge because I am already 654 pages in. This book is just over 800 pages. I think it's 840 actually, and I am here. I did start listening to the audiobook of this book last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, because this is actually a book that I need to read this month because it is one of the books that came up in my new TBR game, Shannon's Bookish Bingo. Again, I will leave it linked up above if you want to check that out. But the prompt that I got in that TBR game was to listen to an audiobook, and I did choose this mainly because for the last 2 books in the trilogy, I have been listening to the audiobook and reading along physically, and I've absolutely loved that experience. However, now that I'm back in work and I'm basically working full-time hours, I don't have as much time as I normally would to sit down and read, but I do have to travel around half an hour to my place of work, and so I do get around an hour of listening time done just going there and back. So that's mainly how I have been getting through this. I've also not wanted to stop listening to it because it's just amazing. This book, you guys, is absolutely crazy, and I'm very nervous about this at the minute because it's just a wild ride. If you don't know, this is the third book in the Farseer trilogy, which is the first trilogy in the Realm of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb. I'm reading this as part of the Catch Up Book Club, which is a book club run by Becca and the Books, and this year we have been focusing on Robin Hobb. I absolutely fell in love with the first book. The second book was even better, and then this one is just climbing right to the top. This is so intense from the get-go. You already know the characters, you already know the situation between everyone, and the stakes are extremely high right now, and it's stressing me out. If you don't know, the first book in this trilogy is The Assassin's Apprentice, and in it we follow a young boy named Fitz, and when he is 6 years old he is dropped off at the King's Keep by his grandfather, and he actually claims that Fitz is the bastard-born son of Prince Chivalry. His grandfather then leaves Fitz to his fate, but luckily he does get taken in by one of Prince Chivalry's subjects, who is the master of the hounds and the horses at the keep, and he does slowly get taken into the life of the court. One day, however, King Shrewd does pay Fitz a little bit more attention, and he realises that Fitz could play an essential role in the court, because as he's a bastard he does have royal blood. However, he has no legitimate claim to the throne, so he is still allowed at court and at different gatherings and on different quests, but he's obviously not at a high station. And so King Shrewd appoints Fitz as the royal assassin because, like I said, he can get into situations where people of royal blood normally wouldn't, and that will be extremely advantageous for the king, as there is currently a war going on between their kingdom and the Red Ship Raiders. As you can see, these are very chunky books, but don't be put off by that because the first book eases you into this world and the politics and everything like that really well. It does take a while to wrap your head around a few things. I remember when I first started it I was so confused, but that was only for the first 50 pages or so, and like I said, I did listen to the audiobooks after that, and I read along physically, which helped me stay focused, and I feel like I retained a lot more information about the world and everything like that. So if you're unsure about these books, I would highly recommend the audiobooks because they are phenomenal. The narrator is just absolutely brilliant, and you're not going to want to stop listening. I am currently further along in Assassin's Quest than I am in the Two Towers, which is a bit annoying as I need it to be the other way round, but like I said, the audiobook for Assassin's Quest has just been so good that I've just found myself wanting to listen to it at all times. So whenever I've had a spare moment, I've put on the audiobook and just got immersed in the story. But for tonight, I am planning on sitting down now and just getting as much of the Two Towers read as possible. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just rushing through this book to finish it. I'm not. I am taking my time with it, and if I don't finish it before the live show, it doesn't matter. I would just like to have read it and to be able to join in when the live show airs so that I can interact with the hosts and everyone else that has read this book. I am a bit nervous because I am back at work at 6 AM tomorrow, which means I need to go to bed quite early as I have to wake up at 4:30 in order to get ready and travel to work in time. So that puts a slight dent in my plans, but if I can sit down now and focus on this, hopefully I can read about 100 pages. I have been trying to read 100 pages a day so that tomorrow after work I can sit down and finish it. I mean, I've decided to tackle 2 high fantasies at the minute, which I'm loving both, but I really want to get these done before the end of the month because I have already started them, and I feel like it'd be nice to finish off July with these 2 amazing books. I'm really sorry if that was a very rambly update. I'm a bit of a mess right now, having had to readjust to life at work, and I'm obviously trying to balance that and my reading and my filming, and it's quite stressful. I don't know how people do it because I am struggling and it's only my second week back at work. But I do have something exciting now, which is a haul. The first thing is in this little box. This is perfect, you guys, because it's actually a Funko Pop of Frodo Baggins, who is the main character, I guess, in The Lord of the Rings. I have been wanting to collect the Lord of the Rings Funko Pops because I'm absolutely obsessed with the films and everything like that, and I just think they're so nice. However, they are extremely hard to get a hold of. Again, if you saw my weekly reading vlog from 2 weeks ago, you'll know that I did unbox a few other Lord of the Rings pops, which I absolutely love. And after doing that, I did go on a few websites to try and see if I could find some more. And I did. However, it was like a pre-order thing, so I actually ordered 3, which are Frodo Baggins, Samwise Gamgee, and Gandalf the Grey. So it's kind of a surprise to see which one's gonna get here first. That is what the rest of them look like. So I've got the whole of the top row. I don't know if I want to try and get this bottom row. I probably will eventually, but for now I think I'll stick with what I've got because I almost have the full fellowship, because I do now have 6 out of the 9 that were in the fellowship. Merry and Pippin are so hard to get a hold of. I've not seen them anywhere, which I'm really sad about. I have seen that you can get Boromir, but as of now I don't really want to. Even though I do love him, I'm happy with the ones that I've got at the minute, and if I want to expand my collection, at least I know that I could buy him. But yeah, I'm so happy to have Frodo. I've fallen in love with him a lot more whilst reading the books. I think the films do him a little bit dirty, but he is one of my favourite characters now, and I'm just so glad to have this. I have just realised that the next package that I have to unbox for you does also relate to this vlog, which is completely unintentional, but absolutely perfect timing. This is The Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb, which is the first book in her next trilogy in the realm of the Elderling series, which is called the Live Ship Traders series. I was not expecting this to be as big as it is. This is 880 pages, which is bigger than Assassin's Quest. Oh my days. Can we appreciate though how stunning Robin Hobb's covers are? I can't wait to put them all on a nice shelf and display them because I feel like they're going to look amazing next to each other. I have no idea what this book or trilogy is about. I believe it's completely separate to this, but we do come back to this trilogy in later books, I believe. But as this is the last book in the Farseer trilogy and we are reading it this month, the next book we're reading for August and September is The Ship of Magic. On the back it says, "Wizard wood, the most precious commodity in the world, comes only from the Rain Wilds. But only a live ship can negotiate the perilous waters of the Rain Wild River, and live ships are hard to come by. They quicken only when 3 family members from successive generations have died upon their deck. The live ship Vivacia is about to undergo her quickening. Althea Vestrit waits for the ship that she loves more than anything in the world to awaken, but her dream of taking her father's place at Vivacia's helm is not to be, for her family have other plans. And the dark, charming pirate Kennet also lusts after such a ship. He well knows the power of wizardwood and has plans of his own." I'm kind of hoping that this is mainly set on the sea, because as much as I love the world in this trilogy, I would love to see it expanded, and I would definitely enjoy travelling across the seas. I am hoping that there is an audiobook for this narrated by the same narrator that does the Farseer trilogy. Like I said, I absolutely love his narration, and it would definitely help me out with getting through these books. And even though I do tend to listen to the audiobooks, I did buy myself a physical copy just because if I am in the mood I will read along to this if I have more time. And this is one of my new favourite trilogies of all time, and if this is anything like it, I wanted my own copy. And just as a little note, these are all the books that Robin Hobb has out. So we have different trilogies, and then we have some books that have been published under a different name, and they're probably all going to be around the same size as this one. So I have a lot of reading to get done if I want to complete Robin Hobb's books, which I definitely do. Before this year I never would have even thought about picking up these books, but they have truly changed my reading tastes and I absolutely love them so much. And I have fallen completely in love with Robin Hobb, her writing, her world building, her character development, just everything, and I can't wait to jump into a whole different side of this world. And then lastly we have this one, which I do need scissors to open. Again, I know what this is because I did recently place an order on HMV, believe it or not, for some books. I was browsing on the website and I realised that they had a 2 for $6 offer, so I had a look through and there was honestly a really good collection of books up there. This is also one that I've been eyeing up everywhere and I've never plucked up the courage to buy it, and that that is Dune by Frank Herbert. Like I said, I have seen this book everywhere. I think I first saw it in Waterstones, and I feel like every time I've gone into Waterstones I have been drawn to this book. But it's a sci-fi, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I've definitely been getting more into it recently, but this just always seemed to terrify me, mainly because of the size. It's another chunky book, but this is stunning. It's the 50th anniversary edition, and I believe there is a film coming out for this, so I did definitely want to pick it up, and I do hope that I can read it by the end of the year. I might try and put it on a set TBR so that I do, just because I feel like I would really enjoy this, and I don't want to just put it on my shelves and forget about it for years, which is kind of my thing at the minute. I would like to get to this as soon as I can. It also scares me because I believe this is only the first book. I think it's quite an expansive series. I'm not sure how many books. I think there's at least 4 if I'm correct, so it'll be a bit of a commitment. If I don't like this, I won't read the rest of the books, but if I do enjoy it, then I will probably pick the rest up. I honestly don't know anything about this. I feel like I've read the synopsis of this book every time that I've seen it in a bookshop, but when it comes down to me trying to tell you what it's about, I have no clue. On the back it says, before the Matrix, before Star Wars, before Ender's Game and Neuromancer, there was Dune, the greatest science fiction novel ever written. The spice melange is the rarest and most valuable element in the universe. It does everything from increasing a person's lifespan to making interstellar travel possible, and it can only be found on a single planet, the inhospitable desert world Arrakis. Whoever controls Arrakis controls the spice, and whoever controls the spice controls the universe. When the Emperor transfers stewardship of Arrakis from the noble House Harkonnen to House Atreides, the Harkonnens fight back. Murdering Duke Leto Atreides, Lady Jessica, Duke Leto's concubine, flees into the desert with their young son Paul, where they are rescued by a band of freemen, the native people of Arrakis. The freemen control Arrakis' second great resource, the monstrous worm that burrows beneath the burning desert sands. In order to raise an army to avenge his father and retake Arrakis from the Harkonnens, Paul must earn the trust of the freemen and lead a tiny army against the innumerable forces aligned against them. His journey will change everything. So it sounds really good. It sounds a bit like what this is about, but this is obviously high fantasy and is set on land, whereas this is sci-fi and is set in space. If it's anything like this, I will surely love it, but I don't know how technical it'll get with the science fiction elements. I guess I'll have to just read it and find out. But I've just noticed that at the back it does actually have some terminology, so if I'm ever struggling I can refer back to that and then continue reading, which is always very helpful. So yeah, definitely not my normal read, but I am really excited to get to it, and like I said, hopefully it'll be soon. I am a massive mood reader though, so we'll see. But if I do read it, there will definitely be a reading vlog for it, whether it be a weekly reading vlog or a dedicated reacting to reading vlog. So I hope you enjoyed this little haul. I felt like it'd be nice to open stuff on camera because I've been very impatient with opening parcels lately, and as soon as they've gotten here I've just opened them and put them straight on my shelf. But I always love unboxing these things and chatting to you guys about them. Please let me know down below what you think of these, if you like them, if you want to read some of these books. I'd love to know. Again, I'm extremely sorry if the first part of this vlog was a complete mess. That's just my life at the minute, but hopefully I can update you guys later on tonight or tomorrow with some coherent thoughts. But for now, I am going to sit down and read The Two Towers. Hi guys, so I have not updated you now for about 2 weeks. It's currently the 19th of August, which is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm so sorry. Things have been crazy in work. My mum and my stepdad were over because they were painting the house for us. If you didn't know, my mum's partner is a painter and decorator, so luckily they were able to come round and just sort out the house a bit for us, which was really nice because now it looks a lot better than it did. And then I've just been generally tired because I've been working a lot and I've been coming home and I've just been crashing. I've watched a lot of Glee, I've watched a lot of Dexter, and because of that I've not been prioritising reading, which is really bad of me. I feel like I've been in a really weird slump the past few weeks, especially after reading these two chunky books, which I will get to in a second. But yeah, I didn't read anything for the first 2 weeks of August. I've just now finished my first book of the month, which is absolutely crazy to me. I've normally read about 5 or 6 books by now, so yeah, I'm definitely in a weird mood, but I feel like I'm kind of getting over it a bit now, and I definitely want to try and film a bit more. Something else that might be different that you probably have noticed are these shelves behind me. So right after my mum and my stepdad left, my order from IKEA came, including these lovely Billy bookcases, and I have been busy putting them all together, and then Tom and his parents actually mounted them to the wall for me because I was in work and I couldn't do it myself, so they did that. So I'm so thankful because now they are secure and I could put my books on them. I'm not going to chat too much about them here because I will have a bookshelf organisation video where I build the bookshelves and sort of talk you through my organisational process with it. But for now, they're up. They're not exactly how I want them to be. I do have a little system which I think will work, but I don't have all of my books with me right now, so they're not going to be completely finished for a while. However, I do love this setup. I have all of my Sarah J Maas books on display. I have my fantasy books here. That stunning Princess Leia cover on display because I absolutely love that, and then my V.E. Schwab down here, as well as a load of other books, which again I will show you in that bookshelf organisation video. Right, now that that's out of the way, I quickly wanted to update you guys on my progress with these books. I did somehow managed to finish this before Lucy and Kira's live show. That meant that I was able to tune in. It was a really nice experience diving into the live show straight after finishing this book. I think I finished this about an hour before the live show, and I'm really glad that I did. Like I said, I didn't want to force myself to read it and read it too quickly. If I wouldn't have finished it, it wouldn't have mattered, but I did, and again I'm so glad that I did because this read along has been so nice, especially the whole community aspect of it, because there are a load of people reading these books for the first time, rereading them, and like I keep saying, it's a series that is extremely close to my heart, so if I can share that love with anyone, I will be so happy. And to be in this community where so many people are finding this series and are just loving it, I just get so happy. So if you can't tell, I did give this 5 stars. I really loved it. The timeline definitely threw me off a bit, as I'm sure I said at the start of this video, but I think it works out better, and I have already started reading the third book in this trilogy, which is The Return of the King, and it's the same deal with that, where the timeline is so different. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I'm so excited to find out. So definitely keep an eye out for my next weekly reading vlog where I'll be reading The Return of the King. If you want to be notified when I post, please do click the little bell icon as well as the subscribe button down below. They are right next to each other, so you can quickly click them both, and that will just mean that you'll be notified when I do post any video, like I said. So yeah, I absolutely love this and I can't wait to finish my read of the series. I'm quite sad though because, like I said, it's a world that I love and I can always revisit it, but this is the first time I'll actually be reading every single book in this epic, and I'm so glad that I have filmed this process through my weekly reading vlogs and stuff so I can look back at it and see what it was like. But I feel like I will have this feeling every time I read them, so I'm just looking forward to diving back into this world at some point in the future. And then my last read of the month was Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I actually finished this on the 1st of August, so not quite in July, but I'm gonna count it anyway because I did read the majority of this. I think I had about 50 odd pages left for the 1st of August, but this is another one that I just absolutely love and flew through. It's another series that I've fallen in love with, and I'm so glad that I decided to participate in the Elderlingalong, which is a read along for Becca and the Books' book club, which is the catch-up book club. All the links for that will be down below. I can't remember if I mentioned this before, I'm sorry if I have, but I'm just so thankful grateful to Becca for starting this read along for these books, because I don't think I would have picked them up otherwise, definitely not anytime soon. And like I said, it's just a world that I was sucked into straight away, and it's definitely one of my new favourites, and I cannot wait to continue on with the series. I'd say that this is possibly my least favourite book out of the Farseer trilogy, and that is mainly because there were a lot of plot points that were brushed over in this conclusion. It wasn't really satisfying and we didn't get much detail. It would say, oh, I went here and this happened, but you wouldn't actually see it. And that did happen quite a few times regarding stuff that were really quite important and I feel like really needed attention, and it would have been nice to explore that a bit further. I understand that it might be difficult because this is a massive book. It is almost 900 pages, so to make it any longer would probably be a bit too much, but I would have loved to just learn a little bit more about some stuff, and I would have liked to have seen some characters' resolutions a bit more as well. I'm trying not to spoil anything here, guys, but that leads me into the next little segment. I'm pretty sure that I will have put a little clip of this in before this update, and that is that I was actually invited to be in the live show for the catch-up book club discussion of Assassin's Quest. This is probably one of the biggest things that's happened to me since joining BookTube, and it's so surreal because I was joining booktubers that I've watched for years and that I really look up to and I just admire, and to be able to be in a live show discussing one of my new favourite books with some of my favourite booktubers was just very surreal. But yes, Becca from Becca and the Books did invite me to be on the live show. A couple of the hosts were ill and so I stepped in. So if you want to hear more spoilery and in-depth thoughts on this book, you can definitely check out the live show. It will be on Jade's channel over at JD Ray Reads, and of course I will link that down below for you guys, so please check it out. It would mean the world to me. I had such an amazing time discussing this book, and I was really scared because I finished this book, like I said, about 2 weeks ago, and so jumping into the live show was quite scary because I was panicking that I wouldn't remember anything, but it was just such an amazing experience. I feel like we discussed some really good points. I'm just going to stop talking about it now because I will ramble on for ages. But Becca, if you're watching this, thank you so much. It's really made this month a little bit better because I've not been feeling too great, and if you ever need a host to step in again, I am always here. So yeah, please check that out if you haven't, guys. Again, it will be linked down below. I am sorry that this vlog is a complete mess. I have edited everything up to this point and it's not the best, so I thought I would give you a little book haul. Again, I will have posted some clips of me in Waterstones because I actually went home for the weekend about 2 weeks ago and my mum and I went into Chester, and of course I couldn't go into Chester without going to Waterstones. I was intending on buying 2 books in particular, which were the Penguin English Library editions of The Picture of Dorian Gray and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know why, but I've wanted to buy those editions and read those books for quite a few weeks now, and I thought if I go in and they're there, I'll buy them. However, The Picture of Dorian Gray wasn't in stock at all, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was there, but the copy that was there was absolutely battered. It was in such bad shape that I wasn't willing to spend my money on that. I would just rather order it online and have it arrive in good condition. But I didn't leave empty-handed because I did actually buy 3 books. 2 of them kind of relate to the books that I wanted to buy anyway, and those are A Study in Scarlets by Arthur Conan Doyle and Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. So these are the Penguin English Library editions. I absolutely love these so much. This is what the spines look like, and I just think they are stunning. They are also very floppy paperbacks as well, which is brilliant. And like I said, over the past few weeks I've had this weird urge to pick up The Picture of Dorian Gray and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think those stories appeal to me because they're quite dark and twisted, which is apparently what I like to read. These, however, are quite different. So this one I actually saw in Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin's Believathon vlog, I believe. He read Little Women for one of the prompts and he did actually have this edition, which is what first drew my eye to it. This is one that I've never really been interested in, but with the new film adaptation recently being released, and seeing it in Gavin's Believeathon vlog. When I saw it in Waterstones, I decided to just pick it up because I do think I will enjoy it. I feel like it's one of the easier classics to get into before I try and tackle some Bronte or Dickens or something like that, which I definitely want to. I honestly don't know what this is about, but it just says on the back, a story of family, growing up and female strength, Little Women has been loved by readers for generations. It recounts the adventures of the four March sisters, Meg, the eldest, on the brink of love, Jo, who longs to be a writer above all else, Beth, who always puts others first, and Amy, the youngest and most precocious, who experience adversity, hardship, joy and tragedy on their path to womanhood and have become some of American fiction's most beloved characters. I did not go and see the film because, again, I wasn't sure if I'd like it. I'd probably prefer to read the book first, and I think that is what I'm going to do. So hopefully I can get to this soon because I do definitely want to watch the adaptation. It has some amazing female actors in there and it does just look like something I would enjoy, and I think the word classic has definitely thrown me off. However, sitting down and reading the synopsis and watching the trailer for the film has definitely put me in a different mindset, and I do want to pick this up as soon as possible. Hopefully before the end of the year, but I want to read so many books at the minute, it is most likely not going to happen, but I'm going to try and make it a priority, and if classic does come up as a prompt for Rhiannon's Bookish Bingo, then I will definitely choose this one. Then we have the first book in the Sherlock Holmes series, and it says here, A Study in Scarlet reveals the early days of Holmes and Watson's friendship and exactly how the former doctor became involved in a life of crime solving. A body is found in a grimy house in South London, its face twisted by fear and horror with the word Rach scrawled on the wall in blood beside it. Yet the corpse itself is completely unscathed. How did this man meet such a strange and terrible end? The answer is darker than anyone could imagine. If you've been keeping up with my weekly reading vlogs, maybe you've watched some of my wrap-ups, you'll know that I have recently fallen in love with murder mysteries, especially Agatha Christie's books. I just find them so complex and compelling, and I feel so ashamed that I haven't read the classic stories of Sherlock Holmes yet. I have been to the Sherlock Holmes Museum and 22 1B Baker Street in London, but I've never actually dived into the classics, and again, it's because of that word. I think I've put off reading this because I was scared that the language might be a bit difficult, it might be a bit dense, but honestly, it's around 135 pages, so I don't know why I've been panicking about it. I could read this in one sitting if I wanted to, and that is probably what will happen. I feel like this will be such a mood read. I will sit down one day and feel like picking up a short murder mystery, and I can dive into this book and experience Sherlock and Watson for the first time in the original classics. I have watched Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favourite TV shows ever. I've also watched Sherlock Holmes the film with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. I absolutely love Sherlock Holmes. I've just never gotten around to the books, and so I picked this up because it's the first in the Sherlock Holmes books and I just really want to get to them. So again, one I definitely want to get to soon, but like I said, I'll probably be bored one day and I'll just pick this up and fly through it and finish it in one sitting, which is what I tend to do with Agatha Christie books, and I love that. I love just picking out a book and binge reading it, and this will definitely be my first pick when I'm in that sort of mood. And then the last book that I bought was one that I wasn't actually intending on buying there that day. However, it was the last one on the shelf and I was scared that I would regret leaving it there, and I definitely would have because I keep staring at this book because it is gorgeous, and that is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Not only is this cover absolutely stunning, this is a Waterstones exclusive edition, which means it has pink sprayed edges and it is signed by the author, which I just could not believe that I stumbled across this. It was in a really random section as well. It's not like I was looking for this, but it's a book that I've had in my basket on Amazon for weeks now because everyone seems to be picking this up. I do also have the 5th season in there as well, but I thought while this was there I might as well pick it up. It wasn't too expensive and I just think it's going to be one that I really like. But I believe in in this book, New York City is a person and all the other sort of cities are also personified, and that in itself just sort of blows my mind and really intrigues me. But something that did sell me was a quote by Neil Gaiman on the back, which says, "It's a glorious fantasy set in that most imaginary of cities, New York. It's inclusive in all the best ways and manages to contain both Borges and Lovecraft in its fabric, but the unique voice and viewpoint are Jemison's alone." So yeah, that just sounded absolutely brilliant to me, and I honestly can't wait to pick this up. Again, don't know when that's going to happen because I keep buying books at the minute and I've just got way too many that I need to read, but I'm glad that I do own a physical copy of it now, because in the UK hardcovers tend to go out of print quite quickly, and so if you don't get your hands on them they are a massive rarity. So seeing this, it was kind of an impulse decision because, like I said, I've had it in my basket for a while and I've just never gone through with purchasing it, so I'm extremely glad that I saw it in Waterstones and just decided to pick it up. So that is it for this week's vlog, guys, or rather a 3-week vlog, I think. I don't know how long this spans across, but it's been a while. Please comment a green heart if you did watch this far. I would be very intrigued to see if people actually have. I wouldn't blame you if you haven't, and you would not be hearing this message if you didn't, so there's no point in me saying that. But if you have watched it the whole way through, thank you so much. It truly does mean the world to me. Again, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon if you want to be notified when I do post, especially my weekly reading vlog where I'll be reading The Return of the King. And whilst I'm giving this little spiel, I might as well ask you to click the like button if you like this video as well. But that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!